What's up, my water bottle almost spilled on my laptop. It's fine. What's up, beautiful jellyfish? It's Tracy, and today we're going to be talking about black Aether Revolt cards. I have done white and blue so far, and then for the next couple days I'll be doing red and green, and colorless, multicolored, that sort of thing in one video. So yeah, black is probably just one of my favorite pre-release draft colors, just because I think the removal is really strong, and I'm a huge fan of, like, picking sometimes way too much removal that my deck actually needs. So black's one of my favorite Magic colors. So we're going to be talking about these cards in terms of like a pre-release, like a limited environment. So if you're going to a pre-release, this is what I think about these cards, or a draft environment. So first is Battle at the Bridge. So it's got Improvise, which is pretty cool, but regardless if you even don't have that many artifacts, which is what I feel about Improvise, which I actually kind of like, that it's a little bit flexible, you have that opportunity to not use that. But then if you have Improvise that costs a little bit less, that's pretty nice. Target creature gains -X until end of turn, which I really like, so you have the potential of killing something. But on top of that, you gain X life, so you kill your opponent's super threatening thing. It also, I'm trying to think, what does this get around? It gets around Indestructible, am I right? Yeah, it gets around Indestructible, which is really good. So if your thing is, their thing is Indestructible, whatever. But then you gain life. Oh my gosh, I always get distracted about the comments and someone's like, how is, there's no battle at the bridge? Okay, whatever. But anyways, then you gain life, which is really sweet. So if you kill like their 13/13 thing and you have Improvise or whatever, then you just gain 13 life, which can pull you back from the game. So that's great. Then is Glint-Sleeve Siphoner. So I love Menace. I think it's a really cool ability. So it's a 2-mana 2/1 with Menace. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, you get an energy counter, which I think is really interesting because a lot of them are one or the other, so I like that this has both. And then being the upkeep, you can pay 2 to draw a card and lose a life, which is really good card advantage. It's card advantage stapled onto a creature, which is just really strong. So I think this is a really good rare. I like it. Next is Sly Requisitioner, Requisitor. Okay, so 5 mana for a 2/2, but it's got Improvise, which is okay. But whenever a non-token artifact you control is put into the graveyard, create a 1/1 colorless servo token. I don't know. I think this is pretty interesting. I like that it gives you those colorless tokens, so it helps with your Improvise later on down the road, or you just get dudes to attack or block with, which I think is really strong. Yeah, I feel like it's kind of a lot of mana for what it is, but like, I guess if you have the Improvise, it costs less, which makes this card really strong. So, yeah, if anything dies, your opponent kills something, you just get a token, which is really good. So, then is Perilous Predicament. So it's instant speed removal. What I really like about this card is that it's the second artifact creature and a non-artifact creature. So for 5 mana at instant speed, you're removing 2 of your opponent's creatures, probably. Regardless, even so, even if they don't have an artifact creature or whatever, like, at least you're just getting rid of something. You're getting rid of one thing. So it's not, I don't know, I don't think it's, like, the best card ever, but I think it's good in the set, and, like, I think also too that like people are going to be having a lot of like those 1/1 Thopters, but if they don't have any of these, you could potentially remove something really threatening, some artifact creature. So it's a good removal spell. You're going to want those. Oh gosh, what did I do? Go back. Okay, there we go. All right, then is Gifted Aetherborn. I love cards like this. This is just flashback to like Vampire Nighthawk. Someone said it's Vampire Night Penguin. I dig that. Okay, so it's double black for a 2/3 Death Touch lifelink. Yes, 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 yes. You want like a couple of these. This card's awesome. Bodies like this are great. They're great on the offense, and they're great on the defense because people don't want to swing into this because then their creature dies and you get a little bit of life. Yes, we're bringing back Vampire Nighthawk, and I love that. Okay, I remember seeing this card and being like, is this card real? Fatal Push. This is, to me, like, one of the I don't know, I think probably one of the best removal spell cards in the set. So, it's 1 mana, instant speed, to search your creature if its CMC is 2 or less, which is incredible because there's quite a few really, really solid creatures that you're going to want to remove. But if you revolt, you destroy that creature, with converted mana cost 4 or less if a permanent left the battlefield. This is like 1 mana instant speed, removes a lot of stuff. There's a lot of really, really good things at the 2 to 4 range that you're gonna want to get rid of if you have that revolt off. Regardless, even if you don't have the revolt, the fact that you can get rid of something really small but threatening is really good. So, oh my gosh, this card's nuts. People are talking about that card being played in Modern, and I definitely think it will be. Then we have Daring Demolition. Yeah, this is definitely like a limited card. This is definitely what that card was intended for, because it's just a target creature or vehicle. So it's gonna do one or the other, but I like it because sometimes vehicles are like really threatening and you just need to get rid of them, but you have the option of getting rid of a creature if they don't have a vehicle on board, so it's a solid removal spell. I like it. Next is Strangler. So this is like a super straightforward card. It's a 3 mana 2/3 with Menace, but I really like it. I think it's a pretty decent body. And I just realized that one of the cards that I clicked on got deleted, so I have to pull that card up. Unless it got moved. I was going to talk about that demon, and I don't know what happened to it. Okay, that's great. So anyways, yeah, it's a 2/3 Menace, which is really good. I don't even know what happened to that card. That's like really weird that I'll talk about it at the end, because that'll just make things easy. Anyways, so yeah, it's a good card. I like it. Then we have Vengeful Rebel. So, I really like this card. It is a little bit situational because, you know, to have the revolt go off, you have to have something leave. And it only does -3/-3, but this is really, really good. I like this a lot. I think that it's a really interesting type of ability. And, yeah, I like this. Ooh, good card. Okay, next is, oh, I did pull this up. It just got moved, I think is what happened. Okay, Herald of Anguish, which is one of like the big bombs. So it's a 7 mana 5/5, but it's got improvise, so if you have that off, it can cost a little bit less, which is nice. It's got flying. You guys know how I feel about flying. Love it. Beginning of your end step, each opponent discards a card, which I really, really like. It's really awesome. 1/1 black, you sack an artifact. Target creature gains -2/-2 until end of turn. This is really, really, really good. I am so excited about this deck. I think what's really good about this card too is like if you have a vehicle and it's like not doing anything because like you need to keep your other creatures, you know, on board for blockers or like whatever, or like your vehicle is just not really good right now. It's also instant speed, sack it. So if someone goes to kill something, you can sack it in response, potentially kill their thing. Overall, this card's just incredible. Like such a great mythic bomb. Really awesome. Okay, then is Yahenni, Undying Partisan. Alright. This card is awesome. Okay, so 3 mana 2/2 haste. Black cards got haste. I like that. Okay, whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. So you kill their things. Again, you're playing black, so you probably have some removal spells. You know, that whole thing. Then that gets a +1/+1 counter. Sweet. But you can sack another creature, so it gains indestructible. So someone goes to kill your thing, you sack a creature, and your thing gets indestructible. Really solid body. Can get very big, I think, pretty quickly. And it's really cheap, which I really like. And it's also got haste. That's so good. Okay, next is Yahenni. Am I saying that right? Expertise. I'm a huge fan of the expertise cards. I think they're all just really solid. This one in particular I really like. This reminds me of, what is that card? Biting Rain. I think it was like 4 mana. All creatures get -2/-2. It has Madness. So all creatures get -3/-3 until the turn. Kind of sort of mini board wipe. You know, or what I really like about these cards too is you can always like attack, and then, you know, your opponent blocks and like kills your things, whatever, or they just take the damage. But if they block with their creatures, then it's like, oh, like your creature took 2 damage, I do an additional 3 to it, it dies, which is really good. I really love doing stuff like that. But then you can cast a card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your hand without paying its mana cost. So it's a mini board wipe. On top of that, you get to cast something from your hand for free, which is awesome. So this card is super great. Definitely something you want to look out for when you're playing. And the last card is Aether Poisoner. So this is kind of an interesting little card. I like it. I think a lot of like the low drops I've noticed, they do a lot of stuff, which I think is really cool. I feel like a lot of times, sometimes like the lower mana cost stuff of things just kind of don't really do anything, and then your juice is really like later on in the game at like 4 or 5 CMC. But I like this. It's 2 mana, 1/1 Death Touch, which I like already. I think that's really great. It reminds me of the Rat card that was like 1 mana, 1/1 Death Touch, or 2 mana, 1/1 Death Touch, whatever. It enters the battlefield, you get 2 energy counters, and whenever it attacks, you can get colorless servo token, which I really like. You have another body on the field, another thing for crew, improvise, anything you want. So yeah, I think black is looking really solid. I really like it. I'm always usually really impressed with black. I think it's a really solid color. And really good, I think, in limited. I think there's a lot of really solid cards, a lot of really good removal too. Some good removal. Fatal Push is like incredible. So I will check